Happens all the time in the daytime. In the daytime, we're always understaffed. The auto aid policy that most departments have now is huge. We rely on the auto aid, but the auto aid is only for structure fires, smoke or flame showing.
In this particular area, one call that I can attribute was here in LaSalle was a house fire, and we were short manpower. We only had 2 guys at the scene for a while, and they could not enter the building to extinguish the fire. A lot of people don't realize there's a federal mandate, an OSHA law that states, it's called 2 in, 2 out, that states you cannot, for every 2 people that enter a building, firefighters, there has to be 2 in waiting outside, ready to go in case something happens. With that, we're not able to send anybody in, and with just 2 firefighters there, one being the engineer and 1 person on the hose, the best you could do is just put water in through the windows until we get enough people to operate safely.
We had a fire on November 2nd of last year, house fire, and myself and my partner that I was working with responded on it for a fire that had heavy fire showing on the outside and also on the 2nd floor. And there was other events going on that evening also, so most of the POCs never made it here. And we ended up calling mutual aid, which is great because with the Mavis and everything, we were able to reach out and grab other departments and have them come in. But probably for the first 20 minutes, it was just 2 of us there working on this fire.
Sometimes we don't get enough to go help our other communities in the daytime. We've taken more passes on helping our neighbors in the last 2 years than I think we did the last 30 years. A lot of calls in the daytime, we are short-staffed. Some of the firefighters are doing work with 2 or 3 guys. That creates a safety issue. A couple years ago, we had a house fire in the daytime. We were short-staffed. Our auto aid wasn't here yet. It was a house fire. I think we rolled up with 4 personnel. I got there a little late, and when 2 of our firefighters were in the house, we lost radio communication. For whatever reason, they couldn't hear us and we couldn't hear them, and it was a panic mode. You had a rule 2 in, 2 out. We had 2 guys out. They had to pack up and go see if they were in danger. Thank God that they weren't in danger. They just couldn't hear us on the radio.
Every daytime call is a concern and an issue. We use I Am Responding in Granville and Hennepin, so we have an idea how many we have coming, and if we know there's not many, we know right off the bat before we ever get on scene to call for more help. I can't think of a call in recent memory. There have been some. I've gone on some calls by myself because I'm the only one around, both in Granville and McNabb. I can't think of any recently, not in the last year or 2 anyway.
I can't think of any call where we've maybe been undermanned. There's been some accident calls maybe out on the interstate that, and there more of the issue is handling traffic.
Scene safety.
Scene safety, for ourselves and for those that are the patients and anybody else attending to the scene, even law enforcement. So, because traffic does not slow down for you out there, and they even like to blow by you, taking pictures and everything else. So, there's been times where we've been maybe a little light on the accidents, but it's been they haven't been serious accidents, so it's been more of just managing the scene and taking care of what we needed to do. So.
These days, any of the newer homes burn much quicker, much faster, and so time is of the essence. How we're trying to get around that is more what we call automatic mutual aid. So in an instance, a reported structure fire in LaSalle in the old days would be, we'd get there 10, 15 guys, we'd make an evaluation. If we felt we need help, we would call for mutual aid. Now it's automatic. So at the same time LaSalle is getting dispatched, depending on the location, it would be either Peru and Utica, and possibly Oglesby are all coming at the same time. And that's reciprocal with everybody in the area. Happens a lot and for many years up in the suburban departments, but they got paid people in every station, and they get a lot of people right away. Us, even with the automatic mutual aid, not any given town isn't going to be sure who's going to show up. In a recent call, I believe, a couple had to take a pass because they didn't have enough people to protect their own community at the time. So them are some of the things we're trying to do, obviously, in upping the recruiting efforts. But pretty much there's times where you're going out the door with maybe 2 people.
But it's an everyday concern that you just hope nothing big ever happens, because you might get lucky and 3 guys are laid off and are home, or had to be home for a sick kid, or whatever it may be. Used to be wintertime wasn't as bad. Construction workers would be laid off and you'd have quite a few around. That doesn't seem to happen as much anymore.